Olympiacos are in a situation that I can never remember them being. They have a tremendous pool of young talents that could leave for insane money and go and become big stars. I cannot remember the last time we had this. Olympiacos are sitting on a pile of treasure. Vangelis
right.
Marinakis knows that. So I'm very curious to see what you know about the situation. David Ornstein echoed a colleague of his at the Athletic report saying that it's going to be 30 million pounds that Babis goes for, that Brighton are offering. Excuse me, misspoke there. Brighton are offering 30 million pounds, which is peanuts for this sort of player. I could never see Olympiacos in any universe accepting such a low offer. And Ornstein did clarify Olympiacos are expected to reject it. What do we know about Babis in terms of interest from abroad? We know for a fact that Man United and Arsenal are interested. So are Aston Villa, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, Juventus, Tottenham, Chelsea, Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
And I got to say, Brighton, in the beginning, I didn't know about Brighton, but they are obviously in him as well. Real Madrid, there was also reports about Real Madrid that I could never confirm, but they did mention them. So there's a lot of interest that's only gonna get even bigger. And think about this, Costa, and help me out with this a little bit. You got this incredible player, a Wonderkid, a once-in-a-lifetime talent, especially for a team like Olympiacos, 17 years old. He's only going to get better with age. And he is going to play in the Champions League for sure, because Olympiacos are in the league phase already. So he's going to play 8 times in the Champions League minimum, if he's healthy, which we expect him to be. And he's going to play for the Greek seniors real soon. He's going to get that call up, and he is going to play for the Greece national team, which means that his price is only going to go up. So there's absolutely no reason for Olympiacos to sell him this summer, unless it's for insane money, which is where I'm asking you right now, Costa. How much would you sell? Would you sell Kostoulas for?
Oh my God, how much would I sell him for? Right now, I think he's untouchable for some of the reasons that you mentioned as well. Because I think, knock on wood, the boy's healthy. Like, that's the most important thing. I think that his mind is in the right place. He's still at a very young age, and he has a good family, good people around him. His father's a former professional that played for the club. A very serious character. You remember Thanasis Kostoulas as a player, and you just get the vibes from him that the guy's like a serious human being, not a prankster kind of joke. Dimios, like a respectable footballer. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't an amazing footballer, but he was trusted by serious coaches like Dusan Bajevic, and just there's something about the character of the people that are around him and the nature of his family that give me a certain confidence that he's gonna wait for the right opportunity. And I really can't answer your question about Brighton, because 35 million for Olympiacos is a club record. 35 million euros is a club record fee. It would be. Plus, David Ornstein confirmed that they're offering SEMA on top of the 35 million. Earlier today, we were hearing the opposite, that SEMA was included in the package, but Ornstein saying that it's on top. Now, I've talked to a lot of people today that say you take it. What happens if he gets injured? Sorry,
from Greece or the UK? Those people.
Friends of ours.
Okay.
Just like with other Olympiacos fans, they're like, "Oh, you've got to take the offer." It's like, well, hang on a minute, guys. Olympiacos are not going to sell without keeping a percentage. They'd be
Mhm.
stupid not to. So
Mhm.
if it's 35 million plus a 15-20% percentage on a sell-on, that's where we need to be talking. And that's where Brighton doesn't agree, apparently. Because we want to put a sell-on clause. Brighton doesn't. So Olympiacos for me is right to want to keep a piece of the pie because he's going to go for more afterwards. You're always selling for cheap when you're coming from the Greek market. Babis Kostoulas transfer value, I haven't looked on transfer market actually. If somebody can have a look, his value is what, 15-20 million. As soon as he goes to Brighton, his value is going to pump up to 40, and we've sold him for 35. You see what I mean? So that's one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is Brighton the right fit for Babis Kostoulas? They just went and signed Stefanos Zimas for £20 million and left him at Nuremberg on loan. So whereas a couple of years ago, Brighton were a team that were, they have their tentacles out everywhere looking for young talent. And they used to be very targeted about it. Right now, I see Brighton just kind of throwing money left, right, and centre at lots of different prospects. So what's the plan? Is there a plan for Babis at Brighton? I don't see it. I don't really see what the plan is for the player. And the most important thing that family needs to do right now is, if they're thinking about the next step for their son, they and the player, they need to think about going to a club where he's going to have a role, like he did this season. At the minimum, he has to be playing. He can't go to the Premier League like Christos Zolis did. I'm not comparing the two. Christos Zolis went to England far too early. Erling Haaland played for Dortmund before he went to the Premier League and smashed it in the Bundesliga. I think the Bundesliga is a good fit for Babis. I think that's a good fit for Babis. Out of all those clubs that you mentioned, Dortmund's probably the one for me that I think makes sense for him the most. Dortmund don't have money though.
As for a long project though at Dortmund, if the thing if it's about playing, if it's about opportunities on the pitch, then he's gonna. It has to be a long-term project, because I see Julian Brandt, I see Gio Reyna, I see Jamie Gittins, I see Karim Adeyemi. There's Girassi. It's quite a lot of players ahead of him in the pecking order.
They might sell Adeyemi this summer, but
yeah.
But besides the point, I don't see it. The Brighton fit. I don't see it.
No, I agree with you totally. Plus, I mentioned it, and I feel like a lot of people at Olympiacos agree with me. Olympiacos need to build a Champions League team. If they start selling their best players for good money, then that's the end of that dream, pretty much, isn't it? And guys, we need to finish in the top 24, and it's not going to be easy. It really isn't going to be easy. It's been a while since we played with the Giants, with the elite. It's been 2 years, 3 years. The last time, Man City was the last time we played against a Giant, and we didn't fare very well against them.
Costa,
this is serious.
Costa, with your contacts in the UK, they must be asking you about the player. But I want to ask you, for people that are watching us here, how would you describe Babis Kostoulas in 3 words?
3 words?
Yeah.
3 words. 3 words. I can't do it in 3 words, man. You know me. I'm not a laconic person. But, I mean, Babis Kostoulas is a rare opportunity for Olympiacos right there. He's a treasure for Olympiacos. He's not the kind of player that you're just going to throw away for a few mil, for a record, for a fee that, yes, is a record for Greek football, but he could have gone for double that amount if you gave it a little more time. And his price will only go higher now that he's going to play in the Champions League. He's going to play for Greece. He's going to shine on both occasions. And also, did you watch the documentary, the mega documentary about Olympiacos 100 years?
Of course I did.
You watched it. Do you remember Babis' interviews?
Yeah.
What do you think of his personality?
He's so young, man. He's so raw.
Exactly. He had such a strong personality. He was so comfortable on the mic, on camera. You know how footballers talk? Have you watched one interview from Cole Palmer? Babis is the exact opposite. He's comfortable. He's confident. They asked him about the pressure of him becoming the new flag bearer of Olympiacos, the new standard bearer. It's like, well, doesn't matter for me. If anything, I won it. Bring it on. He's tough. And he didn't get it from his dad. Watch an interview from Thanasis Kostoulas, one of his recent ones. He doesn't get it from him. He is confident. He has a strong personality. He wants to do something in football. 3 words. I'm giving you 4. 1 for the future. Not for Olympiacos, for everyone. Watch this space. There you go. 3 words. Watch this space. There you go. 3 words. Now you go 3 words.
I've got mine. I was thinking about it a little bit. Dynamic, instinctive, killer.
You meant it like this. You know what you did. Yeah, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
There was the game against Karabag at home. And it's Karabag, okay? But they had this central midfielder, Ramau, this guy that was playing in midfield, this huge body they had. And I just remember a couple of shoulder to shoulder kind of plays that they had, some tussles that they had. And this is a 17-year-old young man against a 28-year-old seasoned veteran who looks like an absolute tank. And the guy was just falling over, bumping into Babis. And it was just absolutely insane to watch that. It's like, oh my God, there are literally players bouncing off him. He's so strong. And he's 17. He again, guys, people that don't know him, his height is 1 meter tall, 86 centimeters at age 17. He hasn't stopped growing. He's probably only started really hitting the gym the last year or 2. But can you imagine the extent at which his body's going to change too? Yeah, he needs to be careful it doesn't affect his acceleration. He's quite fast. It's a hell of a specimen as an athlete, and as a footballer, he's just an absolute killer, mate. I was talking with my dad about it earlier, very early on in the season, and I was kind of bigging up Mouzakitis a lot. Okay, I have midfield bias. I played in midfield all my amateur career, so I always look at midfielders more. But I told him this season you need to watch out for Mouzakitis and Kostoulas, and my dad was like, "Ela more, these kids will never play for Olympiacos." And it's like, did you see? Remember what Kostoulas did against Aris? That game was a turnaround for the team. This season, if we'd have lost that game, he's scored a goal in injury time just after they've equalised in the 90th minute with a diving header, and scored the second in a 2-1 victory. He's come on against Lyon, the first game of the Europa League, as a sub. 20 minutes to go. He's almost scored with a bicycle kick from inside the box after a set piece. And you're just there's from the get-go this season, it's like this boy has something special. And I think we're still scratching the surface with him.
Exactly. That's something to take there. Our friend from Brighton needs to keep that in mind. We're still scratching the surface with him. He's already done great things. He's already shown so much potential. We're still scratching the surface. He's going to play in the Champions League. He's going to play for Greece. I said it last summer that I had a feeling Babis is gonna do something special, and I'm gonna say this
You
right
did.
now.
I fucking remember that.
We were together with Labros, if I remember correctly. It was you, me, and Labros.
You were with Labro and Marshall. I think I was on holiday and I was in the car, and I think I had the video playing. And I remember you saying, "I think something's going to happen with Babis this year." I was like, "Okay, hot take."
And now I'm saying that to you. I have a feeling we're going to see a monster season from Mouzakidis and Babis right now.
Next season,
this coming season, we're going to see something monstrous from those two. Huge.
Lagis Gavalas, in true Lagis Gavalas fashion, thinks we're exaggerating.
Yasurelaki.
He's trying to bring us back down to earth. The guy has had a single season with 7 goals, all in Greece, and 2 assists. Yeah, but he's 17, man. Find me another 17-year-old that's done that for Olympiacos. One, and for anyone. For anyone. Who does that? Who does that? He wasn't impactful in the Europa League for us. Yeah, he didn't score goals, but he was impactful. He's 17, guys. It's true. Like the way he's been bigged up, like you think it's a ready player. It's like, yes, he is ready, but we haven't seen the full potential yet. And the full potential's scary.
Mm-hmm.